truths will help you guide.
Yes.
Okay, and be seated right over there, if you would, please. State may proceed when it's ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Would you state your name, please?
JILLENA SCHCSCK.
And how do you spell it?
JILLENASCHECK.
All right, I think this is the last of day one. So I can see. Got 1, 2,
And what is
3
your
day,
maiden name?
4
Maya.
day twos.
When were you married?
June 16th, 2018.
Are you employed?
Yes.
And where do you work?
Grinnell High School.
What do you do at the high school?
I'm a special education teacher.
And how long have you held that position?
8 years.
Have you had any other employment other than the job that you have now in the last 8 years?
Yes, I ran the hospital's day camp for 10 years. Well, I worked there. I was a supervisor the last 5.
And what were your duties at the daycare?
We took care of
Duties.
children. We
Duties.
planned activities. We did field trips. My specific duties as a supervisor, I planned the schedule for everyone. We made snacks and activities and all that kind of stuff with the kids.
Approximately how many children did you have at that daycare?
On any given day, we had roughly 60 kids. On field trip days, we had almost 80.
And were you the supervisor at the daycare in July of 2018?
Yes.
And on any given day, how many other people did you have working there with you?
There were 10 employed through the hospital, and then we had 4 or 5 that were through the college AmeriCorps group.
Did you know Mollie Tibbetts?
Yes.
How did you know Mollie?
I knew her through work, and I also knew her through her family. Her aunt or her uncle married my best friend's mom, so I knew her through family as well.
And how long would you say that you had known Mollie Tibbetts?
I probably first was introduced to her when her Uncle Eric and Aunt Billy got married, so maybe 8, 9 years ago.
Did Mollie work at the daycare where you worked?
Yes.
Did you hire her?
Yes, I wasn't part of the interview process because I was teaching, but my boss, Chad Nath, did.
Did that name your number?
Chad Nath.
And did Mollie work at the daycare the summer of 2018?
Yes.
In July of 2018?
Yes.
And what was Mollie's position at the daycare?
She was considered a day camp intern. We are considered interns because we're seasonal. And she did all the similar things I do. Took care of children, took care of the skinnies, helped set up snack, do activities with kids, go on field trips, just supervise the children being children.
And was the intern position a paid position?
Yes.
And had Mollie worked at the daycare prior to 2018?
Yes, I believe she worked the summer before as well. So 2018 was her second year.
And you know how old Mollie was when she worked at the daycare?
19?
She'd been in college,
Yes.
and that's when she started. She was
Yes.
19.
I believe so, yeah.
Did you directly supervise Mollie?
Yes.
And were you responsible for the scheduling at the daycare?
Yes, it was.
And how did those schedules generally work? What were the hours?
So because we were affiliated with the hospital, we were technically open from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. because doctor's hours and nurses' hours. But we rotated through shifts. So we had an opener, and then an hour later, we had the next person come in and kind of scattered through. And then the closer would kind of float because we could only work a strict 40 hours a week. And obviously, nurses can work 12-hour days. So we were most of the time closed by 5:30.
Ms. Scheck, what was the process at the daycare if one of the employees couldn't make it into work? How would that notification process work?
Typically, they would message myself or Chad, typically me because I was one that was there daily. And then if they knew ahead of time, they would let me know. We'd put it on the calendar. We'd often switch shifts, or I'd leave and come back for the day. Like I said, we had to kind of be really flexible with only having to work 40 hours only. The hospital didn't really want us to go for overtime.
And how would you describe Mollie Tibbetts' attendance at her job?
She was there all the time unless she knew she had commitments. That summer she missed the first week because of her dad's wedding. So we just filled in and kind of spread ourselves out a little bit more. And she was always on time. It was very unlike her.
Was Mollie scheduled to work on July 19th, 2018?
Yes, she was the closing person.
Did Molly show up for work on that day?
No, she did not.
Did she notify you that she wouldn't be in?
No, she did not.
Was there an event planned at the daycare that day?
Yes, we had a field trip. We were going to the county fair.
And did you make any attempts to contact Molly?
Yes, I messaged her, like a text message, and I believe I called her.
And did you think that was out of the ordinary for Molly not to show up that day?
Yes.
Did you think it was out of the ordinary for Molly not to notify you that she wouldn't be in?
Yes, it was very odd.
How many attempts did you make to reach Molly?
I would say at least 2 or 3 times.
And was that by text message?
A text, and I believe I called too.
Did you make any effort to contact a third party to ask about Molly's whereabouts?
Not until after we were back from our field trip when I realized she hadn't messaged me back.
What time did you return from the field trip?
We got back about 3, and then I kind of finished up what I had to do there. And before I left, I sent a message to her cousin,
And who was her cousin?
Kelsey Sheets.
Do you recall approximately when you would have made that first attempt to reach Molly?
It was probably about 8:30 because on field trip days we need to report, and everyone needs to be there by 8:30, even the closer.
Did you ever get a response to any of your calls or texts?
No.
Did you ever see or hear from Molly after July 19th?
No.
When was the last time that you saw or spoke to Molly?
Probably about 4-ish on Wednesday night before I left from the day camp, and she was closing. So
That would have been July 18th.
Go ahead for the record. Say that out loud, though.
oh yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Scheck. I have no further questions for you at this time.
Defense may cross-examine.
We have no questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for being here. You're excused.
Thank you.
Okay, state may call its next witness.
Today's next witness is Christina Stewart.
I'll swear you in. If you can raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm